Hi guys, Tugu here saying new video, and this video we're going to talk about BWL because phase 3 is coming out in less than 2 weeks. Now, actually 2 weeks to be precise, so 20th of March, and we are today the 6th of March, so obviously 14 days, 2 weeks, and I'm actually excited. I'm actually very happy about phase 3 coming out. I feel like people are like saying that it comes out way too soon, while it is fairly late actually, because phase 2 came out beginning of January, so it is 2 months and a half from phase 2. So I find it quite good. The only thing that is a bit annoying is that obviously you have people that still have no gear or loot from MC still, like they have maybe one piece of loot after 10 weeks of MC, which is annoying. The truth is, most likely you are either in a loot console or very unlucky with pieces like whenever you're doing SR pugs, or you simply just don't need much loot in MC. The truth is, if you're a healer or if you're like a caster, you don't really have too many pieces that have like straight up an upgrade. A lot of the pre-bis, a lot of the bis items are actually from dungeons. I'm going to even pop up the Feral Druid bis. And this is not like the most accurate bis, but it is like a good indication. You have Age Core Leather, which I think is not a bis. For example, this is like already false. It will always be Devil Sword leggings and Devil Sword hands, which I already have, like the gauntlets. You will still wear Wolfhead's helm. You will still have True Strike shoulders, which is the 2% hits from UBRS. You have still Cape of the Black Baron, which I have the alternative in my opinion, which is not that bad. It is the Black Veil Cape, which is very close of the power of a Cape of the Black Baron. Cadaverous Armor still is going to be this. Wrist Guards of Stability, which is already what I already have. Band of Akuria is maybe the only item I have to take from MC, basically. So it is a very rare item. It's not going to be a item that is going to like drop every single raid, and a lot of people are on it. If you're in an SR pug or if you're like in a loot console, you will always have difficulties having those big ticket items, which are like Band of Akuria or Onslaught Girdle for warriors, Quick Strike rings maybe. You have multiple items that are from MC, which are very big items that you can wear throughout the phases. And then you have items which are literally side grades or not even an upgrade, just like a tier piece that you want to have as a collection. And that is for example for druids. But if you're thinking about like mages, for example, you don't have many pieces that are from MC. You have obviously some pieces. You have Netherwind, which is from Onyxia. You have the tier 2 pants from Netherwind pants from Ragnaros. You have the Mana Igniting Cord, but a lot of the pieces are actually from either PvP or dungeons. For example, Hands of Power. You have the boots from PvP. You have Arcade Escape, which is literally strat live. You have still the crafting from the Robe of the Archmage. You have Flame with Cuffs, which I think you can have probably better somewhere else, but that's just my opinion. You have obviously the Choker of the Fire Lord, the Mana Igniting Cord. You have a lot of pieces that come from MC, but not that many pieces that you would say that you really need MC gear to progress. So again, you have Ring of Spellpower. You need to have double of them, which is already very hard to get. Toep, which is always going to be something you are going to farm regardless, even in BWL. You have Azure Song Mageblade, which once BWL comes out, you have even more items that you can go for. So you have, I would say, with BWL, even more possibilities to get loot. And I know that some people are frustrated that they don't get loot in MC and then BWL comes out, but I see it as an opportunity to get even more loot from that point, because you will have MC still on farm, very easy. People are still going to run it for obviously the bindings, but also a lot of the high ticket items, like for example Onslaught Girdle is Ragnaros, so basically you have to clear full MC to get it. So you will always have groups or raids running for that, and you still have guilds that are going to have it on farm. You have BWL, which is going to open up even more items, and tier 2 is often great for a lot of classes. Maybe not if you're a feral druid like me, it's not going to happen. If you're a balanced druid, it's not going to happen either. But you will have a lot of those items available to you, like a lot of the two-handers, a lot of the necks, a lot of the rings, a lot of the off pieces. All those things are going to be open to be grabbed by you. And obviously, you still have Onyxia, which is not going to be the greatest loot, but if you want to have like the tier 2 head, you will have to farm it. If you still want to have, for some reason, the cloak, which is not the best cloak ever, but if you want that, you can still have it. If you need the Onyxia head for the Onyxia tooth pendant, it's going to be still very good. It's a very good alternative to the Nefarian ring, Nefarian neck, which I find this one more useful in general for a lot of classes. While I think the Nefarian neck is really, I would say, in the direction of, like, let's say a hunter. But I personally think this is better than the Nefarian one, but because it has stamina, it has the hit, it has the crit, it has 12 agi, which basically agi for a lot of classes is just a source of crit, not more nor less. Like for example, a warrior, we don't really get the Nefarian neck because you don't really need it. But like if you're like a PvP mage, you really want to have the crit, like Dragon Slayer Signet, it will be easier to get it because a lot of people are going to already have the Onyxia Tooth pendant. I also think because BTOB is coming out and you have MC and you have Onyxia, you will also have like alts. Like for example, my druid is an alt. Like you can say it's a second main, but let's say it's an alt because a lot of people are only playing one character and maybe just an alt on the side. I have a warrior, which is my main, and then my druid, which is an alt, and I have way more opportunities to get gear now because I will have BTOB as well on my druid, and I also have my MC gear that is going to be still being able to get, and a lot of the people already have the MC gear, for example, or a lot of people are still looking to get the MC gear, so you will always have like rates going up. So I found it like a good occasion to get phase 3 in like the 20th March. Now, we have also the information that 2 weeks after the opening of BWL, you will have the opportunity to go to rank 14. And if it works like SOD, you could prep it the week before, and if it resets Wednesday, you would, like for example in EU or in Tuesday on NA, you would have probably the progression to rank 12, which is big for a lot of classes. But I don't know if it's going to work like that because I think 4th of April is on a Thursday, so if the reset already happened before the update, then you would just like have like a 2-day or 1-day lead. I don't think it's that big, but the big news to me is that Arati Basin is going to open up as well. And Arati Basin, if you can actually grind the rep, which I find it easier to grind than Warsong Gulch because you have some sort of a time limit. You have 2k points to farm, and like inside of a BG, so you have only 2k points to gain, and then the BG ends. It has a time limit pretty much because you will have bases regardless for Alliance or for Horde. And I find Arati Basin gear quite good as a entry point for a lot of gear, but also for classes, for example. Ironbark Staff, which gives armor, crit, and damage, which is probably one of the best boomkin staffs in the game at phase 3. This is going to be available. So this is going to be quite good. If you can actually get exalted, it's going to be very hard. It's going to be a grind for sure. But it can actually provide a lot of great items. For example, also you have for classes, again, you have Sage Claw, which is also a great weapon, which is less interesting than the world boss dagger from Kazakh, if I'm not mistaken. Was it Kazakh or was it Azuragos? I think it's Azuragos, but whatever. You have no, I think it's Kazakh. Anyways, from all of the world bosses, I don't remember. It's less good. Of course, it is also less interesting than a Mage Blade, but it's still something you can grind safely without like having to rely on raid drops. You have obviously also a very good cloak here, like 5 agi, 34 attack power, 11 stamina. It is also a high contender cloak if you are like looking into getting maybe more armor, more stamina, more whatever. This is actually a good cloak. It's not the best, obviously, but it is like a cloak that you don't need to farm in dungeons. So it's that. You also have like some shoulders here and there that is also going to be quite good. For example, this one, agility and 30 attack power. is going to be interesting, obviously. So one thing you can also note is that you have all of those items that are going to be available to you, and I find it quite good. I find it quite fun to have, and I wish it was in phase 2, but it is not in phase 2. It is now in phase 3, which is always going to be welcome. So what can you look forward to in phase 3? Well, BWL is coming out. You have the PvP ranking system that is going to come out. You have obviously not really a lot of loot tables changes, but you also have a lot of the rep enchants available, like for example the 15 agi. The 15 agi enchant that you will get from the Froborg repetition, if I'm not mistaken. I can show you right away factions. Then you have the Timbermaw hole, and if you are revered, I think, or was it honored? I don't remember. It was honored actually. It's super easy to get. You get like enchant, which is 15 agi, which is a great enchant for a lot of rogues. I would even say like PvP. Feral Druids could also use it, which is not like going to be significant, but it's that. You also have the Strength one from the Thorium Brotherhood, which is also going to be a very good enchant. I don't know which one it was. Was it Revered, I think? That's Mighty Intellect. Actually, Mighty Intellect is also quite good. You have what else? Actually, you also have like a lot of weapons that are going to be available to you to craft. So you have obviously the Black Fury, for example. It's a good weapon. I would say stat stick for Feral Druid. No, not Feral Druid, because it's pole arm. Well, it's actually not a good weapon because it's 2.1 speed. But whatever. I wish it was like slower because it would be actually a very good weapon. But Feral Druids cannot have pole arms. But I imagine if Feral Druids actually could have pole arms, this would be actually a very good bis. But it is what it is. It is not available. I think in SOD it is available, if I'm not mistaken. Then you have also a few things. I can't find it actually. The strength one. Oh, it's unfriendly. So this one is going to be also available. So it's 15 strength. It's actually not that bad. Like if you compare it to Crusader, which is a proc, it's a 100 strength. Whenever it procs, it's actually a very good one. But this is also going to be cheaper to make, and it's going to be up at all times. So I assume some people might find it interesting. Maybe Feral Druids, for example, they get 30 AP from it, even more because you have the talent, which is this one, which is giving you 20% increased strength. So 15 strength gives you 3 more strength, so 18 strength, which is then 36. 34 AP. So yeah, 34 AP. So it's still a good weapon overall. So yeah, I feel like phase 3 is going to be very interesting to play in. I look forward to. I think BWL phase is the most fun phase. You have MC obviously in the phase 1 is also very fun because it's leveling, everyone levels together. But the truth is, phase 3, where you have like an extra raid, it becomes very fun. And phase 4 even more, because I think ZG is one of the most fun raids to do for catch-up gear, for a lot of classes that are very unlucky with gear, or to play another playstyle for the hybrid specs mostly, for example. You have also some cool PvP items there. So I find it, like, again, phase 1 to 4 the most interesting place for World of Warcraft, and then you have phase 5, which in my opinion is a bit of a boring phase, and then you have phase 6, which is a bit exciting but also like boring, because a lot of the classes get too many stats, too much stats, too much stamina, and the game like slows down a bit, but also has some power creep to it. So again, I wanted to end this video on a positive note, so I'm going to say 14 days is going to be very close to the start of the new phase, and don't like worry about the loot, don't worry about the gear that you have. Most of the gear that you have are blues, because dungeon gear is very powerful in this phase because of the patch and how it is laid up. Again, if you are looking into a BWL gear, you are going to be able to do BWL regardless. It's not going to be a very hard raid. Get the Oni cloak and you're good to go pretty much. Again, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.